Hey, this is Pat, and today we're going to check out the all-new Alpinestars Troop Air Pro pants. Very fun name for me to say, so I'll just be referring to them as the Troop Airs for the rest of this video. But what you have here is a sporty style and a sporty take on a stretch and mesh chassis for a lot of riders out there. I don't think this is very strictly in the sport category. I think it has a very aggressive taper to it throughout, but I could see a lot of other riders on it, whether you're sport touring, whether you're just commuting in the hotter months of the year, if you live in the desert, if you live down south with all the humidity, you might want to take a peek at these because they are getting CE AA abrasion resistance. You're getting CE level 2 armor as well as CE level 1 in the hips with a nice casual, I'll call it. It's a very aggressive motorcycle specific pant, but there's no overly egregious logos, very rare from Alpinestars. So it's nice and toned out and like stealthy in an all black version, but it gets you all the features you want, which is the mesh, which is the stretch and all the protection built into it. But before I get too long winded, we'll work through all the features in just a second. I have Norman on my left. He is 6'3", 220 pounds, usually wears his US jeans in a size 34, just to give you a little help there. Measures his true waist around the belly button, about a 38.5 or so. And he's currently wearing a size extra large. Fits him pretty spot on, especially in the aggressive riding position. We had him on a bike before this, just testing it out. I will say we tried the large as well. Could fit into it, could zip it up just because of all the stretch that's helping it out, but it just wasn't too comfortable in the riding position. So something, again, if you're looking at that sizing chart, you should be all set. If you reference your US jean size, again, he's a 34, that fits about an extra large, which is pretty spot on for the market, but it comes in sizes ranging from extra small all the way up to 2 extra large. And it comes into the price of $300, which isn't too bad when you start looking at a lot of the features. Like I said, the AA and then the CE level 2 armor that is included, and just the sheer amount of stretch and mesh. Only comes in one colorway though, that is all black, the Ford way of doing it. When you look at it here, again, not that many logos, which I think is awesome. A lot of the complaints with Alpinestars is that it's overly logoed. So if you want something a little bit more subdued in their line, this is a great one to take a look at. Let's start up at the waist, work our way down. You do have a snap and zipper main entry, just like you would with a set of pants. Or set of jeans, and up at the top you also have all the loops around the waist just to add a belt in there. So if it is something that you want something a little bit more comfortable, a little bit looser fitting with the armor in the right position, you can go up a size if that's just how you like wearing your pants, and then add a belt in there to really cinch it down and make sure it stays in the right place. But when we're looking at the two materials, I'll talk about them back and forth, but you can really see it here right at the crotch. This is their 2D mesh across the entire front, just helps flow a little bit more air in there because it does have a padding on the back. So it is going to be a 2D mesh up there, and then you get the polyester stretch all the way down the sides. Now the cool part is that polyester stretch is where you're getting a lot of that abrasion resistance. So again, it's hitting that CE AA certification, so you get that protection. Up at the hips, you are getting CE level 1 BioFlex armor. And I mean, just look how malleable this is. This is one of the armors they've been using for years. We see it in the race suits at the hip as well, just because it is protective, but it's something that they have a lot more flex and give and a lot more breathability built into it up there. Once we get down just below the hip, you're gonna see the top loading pockets. They are mesh lined, and it's not gonna be waterproof or anything like that, so keep that in mind, but you are getting that top layer in there. One thing I like is, usually with these pants, you see a pocket up here, you put your phone in it. The Pando pants I'm wearing right now are culprits of this too. Your phone or your wallet will dig into your waist in the riding position. So I like that they've moved that all the way down here, get it out of the way. You can add it in there. I wear a lot of cargo pants while I'm riding, specifically for that reason, because my phone is out of the way of my front area, just to keep it nice and comfortable in the riding position for all day riding. Coming down there, you get more stretch of the polyester stretch, and then you can see the big outline of the knee armor. That is their Nucleon Flex Pro armor. That is CE level 2. Again, an upgrade from the Bio that we saw at the hip, but this is one of their newer armors, very flexible, something that's gonna breathe a lot of air and very malleable. Not overly thick, especially for something that is more casual style cut to it. You're gonna wanna keep that in mind. These are a little bit on the thinner side than other armors out there on the market, but it is still CE level 2. So you can see that outline. One of the few Alpinestars logos is right there on the outside of the knee, and then it's pure mesh all the way down. You can see we actually have these over top of a set of Ventra Air riding shoes. We have it over top, so you can put it over top, but I think this would be much more at home tucked into a taller boot, something like the SMX6 or the SMX Plus vented. Just tucking that in there, just get that added airflow, and mesh is super thin, so it's nice and it's gonna fold over inside there. Go ahead and turn to the side, hit the riding position for me. One thing I wanna call out at the sides, You do get a pop of reflective right here at the outer calf. I would have loved to seen a big old patch of reflective across the back of the pants. That's just my riding style. That's where most lights are hitting. Not many lights are hitting the outside of the calf, but it's nice to have reflective out there. And then at the base, like I called out before, we have them over top of the ventures, but it's just a zipper on the side. Just go ahead and cinch that down should you need to. At the side, only other thing I'll call out is up here at the hip. You can see they actually moved the entire seam at the side to the back and to the front and gave it just a patch of that very abrasion resistant material. I like that. That's a prone area when you go down a slide. You typically slide on the side of your hips and then your butt. So you want to make sure that that seam is protected. Alpinestars just removed it, took it out of the scenario entirely and added that in there. So I like to see that from them. You go ahead and turn to the back. The rear yoke is raised, so it's about a mid to high rise, something that if you are in a more aggressive riding position, it's not going to show the drivers behind you anything you don't want them to see. And a big old patch of stretch across the top just to give a little bit more give if you're wearing a belt attached to these, which is going to be really nice and secured with that extra loop on the back of the waistline. Again, I would have loved to see maybe a big pop of reflective just to really showcase that you are a rider. Someone should not hit you when riding at night or in the rain, so I would have loved to seen that there. Alpinestars, if you're listening. Coming down the entire back, what you're going to see is two different types of mesh. They really took away from the stretch polyester on the back, I should say. You get a much more softer material at the back of the knee. Again, not an area very prone to accidents and to slides just because your knees are usually bent in the vent of it. And then at the crotch, you're going to see a much lighter stretch material that's going to be a lot more comfortable and not abrasion resistant, but it's going to be something that's in an area that you don't really need it. Laser welded perf goes down the inner side, again, to help all that airflow from the front flow through the stretch. So I like seeing that. They added that on each side. And then just a nice clean stretch running down the entire back of the calves. You can go ahead and spin around to the front for me. All in though, the Troop Air, for as weird of a name as it has, I think it holds a pretty cool spot within their line, especially as we see like mesh hoodies and all this different type of casual looking, more aggressive motorcycle gear out of Alpinestars' line like the past year. I think this has a really great home in there, especially considering it's CE AA, especially considering it comes with CE Level 2 armor and CE Level 1 at the sides, and it has a ton of stretch and mesh built into it for the hotter months of the year. I think Alpinestars did a pretty sweet job with these pants, but if you have questions, click that info button. That's going to take you over to the product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about the new Troop Air Pros. Don't just take my word for it. If you still have questions after that, if you're confused on sizing, just trying to nail down exactly which size is right for you and your body, give our customer service team a call. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining the lower half of Norman and I in checking out the Alpinestars Troop Air Pro pants. I'm Pat. I'll see you in the next video.